Saying no. Niggas know how I'm bumming, nigga. Yeah. Fuck what a nigga say, I feel like Dre. Man, the game is sick. Suckers wanna play and load my K into that bitch click. Big stick, hanging out the bottom of my 4-5. No lie, if I whip it out, somebody gon' die. Only time you hard is on the gram when you go live. Flexing with a tube but never blam, I'ma blow mine. Won't show mine until it's go time. Nah, you can't hold mine. Yeah, I got the whole mine, I'm on the goal line. And I'm going for 6, watch me up the scope. Caught him at the stove, he was with his hoe. Had to let him know, that's your ass, you don't get it past. You reap what you sow. Why you speaking low? Speak up. Boy, you been a hoe. Boy, you been a bitch. Get off dick, tryna steal my drip. Look up in the air, you see me, I'm fly as bird shit. Never on no nerd shit. Why you on that lame shit? You don't want no smoke, you get smoke with who you hang with. You know what I'm saying? Lame ass niggas talking about they in some gang shit. Nigga, you's a bitch, nigga. Matter of fact, nigga, you's a hoe. Nah, you ain't no hoe, cause hoes get dope. Man, you pussy ass a cat.
We fucking live, my niggas.
Walk, tell him free to act. Dealing for your rat, you know he told how you sleep with.
Hard to Start Fantasy Football Podcast, man. Coming to give y'all that brief, quick waiver wire advice, man. I got a whole bunch of text messages asking me who, what, when, where, why. I told them tune into this show, man. I'm gonna give you a couple people y'all need for this week 6 waiver wire advice. Y'all know we heading into those bye weeks. Last week we had about 6 teams on a bye. This week is only 2. Y'all should be planning ahead for all these buys that are coming up. Yeah, it's only 2 right now, but next week we got another 4. This is where you should be planning ahead, picking up players off the wire that might be getting dropped or might be sitting there because people need people to play. This is where you pick up those guys, right? Down there at the bottom, you see the top scorers from last week. You know, you see people like Tajay Spears pop up in there who's been getting the timeshare, to name a few. You see players off the wire like McLaughlin last week come in with 17. You know, this is the time of year where if you, hey, like JD say, man, if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready, right? But this is the week 6 waiver wire advice. Quick little show, man. Shout out to JD at Prior Obligations, but he shared some insight with me on some things he wanted me to put up here for y'all. So we're just going to run straight into it, man, and give y'all the waiver wire targets. As you can see at the bottom, I have a list of QBs, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. If you got any streaming defense advice you want to ask, just go ahead and ask me. But I'm going to give you what I think are the top waiver wire ads. And when we say top waiver wire ads, it's mostly people that are owned at less than 50%. Sometimes you got some of those players that people drop because they're impatient or they have a bye. So, you know, you do got to be diligent on getting some of those people that are over 50% owned based on what your scenario is. But injury news today, just to throw it out there, Justin Jefferson on IR. He'll be out for 4 weeks minimum. We think longer. If they lose out, do I see him coming back in? I don't think so. You got a lot of Kirk Cousins trade rumors out there, so we'll see. You know, I seen something saying that they want to protect Justin Jefferson from himself. So when teams saying stuff like that, go ahead and trade. I sent the trade last night, got Devontae Smith for Justin Jefferson. Shout out to the homie Daly in the Paid in Full League. You know, you got to be diligent with them. He's willing to wait. I'm not. Make your next move your best move, man. But like I said, we got some of this, another Connor on the IR. You know, we got Connor out there. So obviously, Amari DeMericato from TCU is a hot waiver wire pickup, right? We'll talk about him for a quick second. You got Devon A-Chain that's on the IR. So obviously, people like Jeff Wilson getting activated is a hot pickup. Maybe even Salvin Ahmed on the Miami. We know how they like to use a lot of people. So depending on what your team needs is and how your roster can structure, you want to go get some of these people. My top waiver wire ad this week is going to be Roschon Johnson, though. A lot of people dropped him last week. They played on a Thursday. He had a concussion. If people slipped up and dropped him in your league, go get him. You know, him and Amari DeMercado, the Arizona running back, are the top 2 pickups this week on your waiver wire. But if you had to ask me for who I'm going with, I'm going for Roschon. Reason being, draft capital. They spent the high draft pick on him as far as running backs goes. You know, people were grabbing Roschon when Herbert wasn't even hurt. Herbert might go on IR. He's dealing with a high ankle sprain that has we've seen kept Barkley and Eckler out for 4+ weeks. Roshan Johnson, the best pass blocker, the best playmaker, had 17 fantasy points week 1 with Herbert in there. Like I said, had a concussion last Thursday, so he got time to clear the protocol. Deontay Foreman, who was brought in last year from Carolina, has been a healthy scratch. So that should tell you something right there. Deontay Foreman, another person to go grab just in case Roshan can't make it. But to me, Roshan is going to be your number one waiver wire pick when it comes to these running backs and out of him and the running back from Arizona. Do I like the running back from Arizona's opportunity? Yeah, opportunity is everything. If I can't get Roshan, I will be happy with Demercado. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his name right, but when it comes to Roshan, I look at things like their schedule. The next few: Minnesota, Las Vegas, Chargers, New Orleans, Carolina. Chargers, Las Vegas, very, very, very soft run D. Roshan Johnson, my number one ad. Again, I'll get a married Demercado if I can't sneak based on volume alone. Keontae Ingram was the number 2 to start the year, but he dealing with a neck injury. They go sign Tony Jones straight off the wire, letting you know something's wrong with Connor. As far as volume goes, Demercado is a great pick to play if you can't get Roshan. Those will be my top 2 picks. Tajay Spears will be my number 3 pick as far as running back goes. He should have been rostered. I've had him in a lot of leagues. He's continued to split carries with Derrick Henry. Something ain't right over there. They're using Spears. He's explosive. He's got standalone flex value, so he's definitely a hot pickup. Another hot pickup who will be gone is Logan Thomas. Logan Thomas continues to get crazy red zone opportunities over there in Washington. He's getting a lot of targets. The knock on Logan Thomas is everybody has bid into the Logan Thomas. Somebody in your fantasy league has bid on the Logan Thomas hype every single year, and he lets us down by getting hurt. But the way tight ends is this year, hey, you might as well take a shot. He continued getting targets, 19 plus fantasy points last week. Every single week, he's showing that he's, in a thin tight end landscape, he's there. When you talk about opportunity, you talk about all these tight ends that's hurting. 8 fantasy points, 10 week 2, 0 when he was hurt. He had a concussion from week 2, trying to catch a pass in the end zone. Red zone opportunities are there. McLaurin and Dotson aren't really doing nothing. McLaurin has been the alpha over there, but again, fantasy-wise, they're going to Logan Thomas. 9 catches, 77 yards last week, a reception TD on 11 targets. So go grab Logan Thomas. Another person that shouldn't be on your wire, Josh Reynolds. Yeah, Jameson Williams came back, but Josh Reynolds has continued to shine over there in that Lions offense, and he's been steady. You talk about 12 fantasy points week 1, 23 week 2, 9 week 4, and 17 week 5. Go grab Reynolds if you're on the wire. Another one we talked about at A-Chain on the IR right now. Go grab Jeff Wilson if he's not. He should be on somebody's team. The smart leagues, he's already on that IR spot. Another number 1 wire pick this week is going to be KJ Osborne. Obviously, we talked about Jefferson getting ruled out for 4 weeks. KJ Osborne is going to immediately step in and take that slot position that Justin Jefferson was operating out of. Hey, people was already rostering him. He was already on the field more than Addison in 2 wide receiver sets. Addison is going to play on that outside and move around a bit, but Osborne is going to be playing at X and that slot. So if you want targets, he's going to be there. Don't hesitate to go grab him. Another hot wide receiver I'm looking at is Rashee Rice. Another touchdown. Tony ain't doing nothing. Sky Moore ain't doing nothing. It's Kelsey and whatever receiver. But the most consistent receiver has been Rashee Rice, 2nd round pick last year, was getting a lot of preseason hype, and his role is only growing. He should be rostered in your leagues. Another player, Josh Downs. Come on. Gardner Minshew loves Josh Downs. We see Richardson is out for a minute. Josh Downs continue, one of those rookies. You know, rookies are the players that end up balling out towards the end of the year. So you got to stash your rookies when you get a chance. 6 catches, 97 yards last week on 6 targets. Gardner Minshew instantly came in. He's explosive. Week 3 versus Baltimore, 12 targets. Last week, only 3 targets. Again, we got Gardner Minshew. He's not running like Richardson is. He's going to be passing. Go grab you Josh Downs. He's a player like Rashid Shaheed, where he's involved in the offense and he's going to go get that ball. A perfect compliment to Michael Pittman over there is Josh Downs. Another one, Chuba Hubbard. They play Miami this week. Miles Sanders is not the guy. And even if he does get a bulk of the carries, we know that Miami's probably going to be up and Carolina's going to be passing. Chuba Hubbard will get the check downs. And he's somebody you could throw in on a bye week filler this week. Another person that is a hot topic, Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel doing what he does every year. It seems like he becomes a thing every year. Back-to-back weeks with 18 points. Back-to-back weeks with a touchdown. Last week was a rushing. This week was a passing touchdown. He is a little touchdown dependent, but the targets are there. And, you know, we kind of don't know what we're getting with Washington. Is Logan Thomas? Is it Curtis Samuel? Is it McLaurin? We know it ain't Dotson. Another, if we want to talk about tight ends to pick up other than Logan Thomas, if you're desperate, maybe go get Dalton Schultz. Back-to-back touchdowns, somebody to stash. Don't be scared to grab him. Another one, Conklin in the Jets. They play Philly this week. Am I juiced to go grab him? Do I need a little filler? I might throw him in. Sam Howell, another wide receiver to consider keeping. 29 fantasy points last week. He's moving the ball. Don't be afraid to stash Sam Howell for now in the future. If you're in Superflex, definitely Gardner Minshew's, the Baker Mayfields, and things. I got one question before I leave. I told y'all this is going to be a quick episode, trying to get y'all some quick wire advice before y'all can. Go ahead and look at these at the bottom. Oh, another person to mention, Justice Hill. Go grab Justice Hill. He's one of the most explosive players that they have, which ain't saying much because they don't got a lot going over there. Question, Chandler Castantino, thank you for tuning in, can only hold 5 running backs. Wide receivers, running back are Pollard, Etienne, Connor, Gainwell, Tank. Connor going down to only having 2 running backs. Would you trade for one? Wide receivers are Keenan Allen, Evans, Terry, Amari, Christian Watson. No, but I would probably, if y'all got an IR spot, I would put Connor. I'd put Connor on the IR. I'd keep Gainwell. It sounds like your wire is pretty thin, but if you got some of these guys that I just named that are on your wire, the Jeff Wilsons, the Roshan Johnsons, the Tajay Spears, the Amari DeMarcados, I will go try to go grab me some wire running backs because running backs are dropping like flies. It's one of the most volatile positions that we have in the game today. And, you know, wide receivers, if you look at the top 20, 25 wide receivers, every week there's names that you don't know that have 15, 17, 18 points. It's not like that with running backs. So going to trade for a running back that's a volatile position, I'd rather get them off the wire because that's where a lot of these league-winning type running backs are going to come from, the wire, not necessarily a trade. So to answer your question, I'm not trading none of my wide receivers. Instead, I'm starting Pollard, Etienne, hoping Gainwell could get some type of value, and I'm going to look for some of these dart throws at the running back position. But look, we'll be back with a Swiver Swerve episode this week. That was just a quick wire countdown. I had to give y'all some wire game. Run this episode back if you want to see the waiver targets at the bottom. Those players that I put at the bottom, a lot of them should not be on the wire in your league, but if they are, prioritize your best way. Hey, like JD say, make your next move your best move like a chess move. And if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, man. In fantasy, if you don't got the heart to start, you don't got the nuts of a champion, man. We out.